Yes indeed, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the World Wrestling Network to come back into your home with Evolve 104 live from Summit, Illinois, and Evolve 105 live from Livonia, Michigan. And as always, I'm here to give you the lowdown on what's going down. Video Roundup Evolve 102 Recap, a new champion crowned. It's time for Shane Strickland to Evolve 103. Shocks the World Evolve Mini-Doc, history made at WWE WrestleMania. Access Evolve Mini-Doc, the mind behind the Mayhem. Darby Allin questions everything. Evolve 104, Saturday, May 19th, at 9 p.m. Eastern. Austin Theory defends the WWN Championship against DJZ. DJ beat Theory the night before. Austin shocked the world and upset the limitless Keith Lee to win the WWN Championship. Zima followed up on that, with a victory in the traditional Mercury Rising six-man tag, again opposite a now-proven Theory. And so the stage is set, a veteran challenger who has the champion's number against a champion who's still young in his career. But there's one major feather in Theory's cap that may prove the deciding factor. He successfully defended the title against Marcel Axel Dieter Jr. Barthel at WWE WrestleMania. Access. A former WXW Unified World Wrestling Champion, a man that both Timothy Thatcher and Walter called their equal in ring camp, deemed good enough to be signed by the world leader in pro wrestling, and Austin Theory overcame him not even 2 full years into his wrestling career. DJZ best be prepared to bring it. Shane Strickland returns to Evolve in a non-title match against Matt Riddle. Last seen in Evolve as part of a previous new talent initiative way back in January of 2015, the King of Swerve of today is quite a different wrestler than the man that lost back-to-back matches against Johnny Gargano and Tony Nese on those shows. He's been picking up gold left and right in here. Against fellow Monarch the King of Brothers, he has a chance to show the Evolve faithful the well-rounded, anything you can do I can do better, competitor he's become. Indeed, it's a win-win situation for Shane, because even if he comes up short, simply going the distance against the Evolve World Champion is enough to earn him a regular spot on the roster. But given that he's 2-1 against deep waters elsewhere, including a victory in the finals of the MLW World Heavyweight Championship Tournament, I wouldn't bet against Strickland here. It's anything goes action as Doom Patrol put the Evolve Tag Team Championship on the line against the End. No matter how this ends, it's the last match these two teams will have against each other. They've had brawl after brawl, but this is actually only the second straight-up team-on-team match between the two, and the anything goes rule set will likely ensure that it doesn't stay that way for long, as I would expect at least Dominic Garrini and Drennan to stick their noses into the fray if given half an opportunity. James Drake gets another big singles match as he takes Keith Lee on in what will surely be a hot war. Drake's performance against Matt Riddle at Evolve 100 showed that he's got the heart and the skill to be a top guy in Evolve, and now in what might end up being Keith Lee's last weekend in WWN, he's got a chance to yank the torch out of the Limitless One's grip with both hands. I expect a lot out of this one, folks. It might be the match I'm most looking forward to out of the weekend as a whole. Fallout from Catch Point's latest realignment continues as Dominic Garrini takes on the freshly ejected Hot Sauce Tracy Williams. Garrini is Stokely Hathaway's bodyguard and right-hand man, and the best revenge Hot Sauce can get would be bloody his nose and leave him lying on Hathaway's proverbial doorstep. I wouldn't expect this one to last long, not with two expert grapplers going to work under such heated conditions, but it should be a hell of a match all the same. Zachary Wentz returns after taking part in the present versus future six-man at Mercury Rising, and he's right into the fire against our Fox. Fox is one of the men most emblematic of Evolve's long history of high flyers, and Wentz would very much like to follow in his footsteps. Indeed, though Dragon Gate USA is long defunct, Zachary has toured the mothership in Japan, and a win over the first Evolve champion in his Evolve singles debut would go a long way to staking his claim. They've had 2 great matches in freelance wrestling, and now the rubber match comes to Evolve as Anthony Henry and Stevie Fierce go toe-to-toe one more time. Stevie has been impressing in the prelims in Evolve for some time now, and a showcase against a rival as strong as Henry is a perfect opportunity to make his case for a jump to the main cards. The freelance matches have been intensely physical, hard-striking affairs. Evolve officials have said that the era of Evolve as technical wrestling paradise has passed with Zack Sabre Jr.'s sabbatical, but with Henry and Fierce on deck, the spirit of Biff Bissick and Drew Gulak lives on. It's Louisiana vs. Illinois' freelance wrestling and Wildcat sports field teams in 6-man tag team action. Freelance fields the team of 4-star heroes, Chris Castro, Spade, Nix, Dow, and Spade have all had opportunities to shine in WWN, so it's Velasquez and Castro that I'd like to put the spotlight on for a moment. Chris Castro is a hugely athletic big man with a spring in his step and a Hadoken in his pocket. Isaiah Velasquez is a former freelance champion with an intense and grounded high-impact wrestling style that was practically made for Evolve. This one should be a hoot, folks. Darby Allin returns from injury in 4-way scramble action against newcomers Trey Miguel, Myron Reed, and Snoop Strikes. Strikes and Miguel impressed at WrestleMania weekend, Snoop as a late substitute in the style battle finale, holding his own against a nigh unstoppable Matt Riddle, and Trey playing a key part in the annual Mercury Rising 6-man. Myron Reed is a total newcomer but very much cut from the same high-flying cloth as fellow Midwesterners Wentz and Miguel. Which is all to say, Allin is very much returning to a match where he will be tempted to jump off something inadvisable. Be ready. Evolve 105, Sunday, May 20th, at 8 p.m. Eastern. Keith Lee and Matt Riddle do battle one last time in a match billed as the Final War. Their rivalry defined the WWN Championship and set a standard for that title, and now they meet for the final time with Riddle's Evolve World Championship on the line. Their scorecard in Evolve is 1-1, but that figure is somewhat misleading, as the first match ended with both men exhausted, slumping to the mat, and only happenstance lead the King of Brothers to be on top of the pile for the 3 count. Granted, Riddle has won rather more decisively outside of Evolve, in Beyond, Rev Pro, and Style Battle, and Lee's confidence may be shaken after losing the WWN Championship to Austin Theory and being easily and decisively taken out of Style Battle thanks to Deep Waters exploiting a knee injury. Keith will have a bullseye painted on that knee, and under the no rope breaks rule set that all of Matt's title matches are contested under, there's no limit to the kind of tour his whole team may find himself in. Doom Patrol are ending rivalries one way or the other this weekend as they take Weird Horsemen on. If Chris Dickinson and Yaka retain the titles against The End in Illinois, the tag titles will be on the line here. Doom Patrol have never been able to get their win back against Anthony Henry and James Drake, and this is likely their last chance to do so. Weird Horsemen won the titles in that match and retained against the odds in a triple threat that also included the Ugly Ducklings the next night. In the time since, the two teams have largely remained separate outside the tag scramble at Evolve 102 and interaction in brawls as the End have spread their unique brand of chaos. This one is months in the making, and it's gonna be good. Hot Sauce isn't affiliated with Catchpoint any longer, but the war with the End has left its mark, and so he's got a grudge match against Odinson. This is a super exciting opportunity for Odinson to leave his mark. I've had an eye on him going back to the excellent interpromotional trios tournament that FIP ran back at Fallout 2015, and he is very much the real deal. If James Drake is 1A to supplant Keith Lee as Evolve's premier athletic hoss, Odinson is 1B, right behind him. With his spin-out F5 so big it has be called F10, and a pounce that could shift mountains, Hot Sauce is gonna have to leverage every grinding hold and cracking head drop in his arsenal to put this Viking down. Darby Allin faces a near-mirror match opponent in Shane Strickland. Both men are known for exceptional high-flying acumen, but they have depths beyond that. In particular, both guys have shown a willingness, hell, almost an obsession with meeting their opponents at their own style and beating them at their own game. Here, against each other, who can even guess where their chameleon act might land them? In the first of 3 matches billed as being the present versus the future, Austin Theory wrestles Trey Miguel in non-title action, with DJZ versus Zachary Wentz and R. Fox versus Myron Reed rounding the group out. You'll note the lineup here being very similar to the present versus the future 6-man from Mercury Rising, and with good reason. Myron Reed subs in for Progress World Champion Travis Banks against his occasional Fia Fox tag team partner R, but other than that it's that trios match broken down into singles. So, each man is already familiar with how his opponent behaves in a WWN ring, but the wild card here is not having backup. Detroit's finest take on Armageddon as the team of N8 Matson. Ordinarily this would be an easy call, but without both of the N's twin powerhouses, Matson and Christopher have better odds than you might initially expect. The Royal Rumble-style elimination fray returns to Evolve. 2 men to start, another enters every minute, eliminations at any time, and while of course a full talent list won't be available ahead of the show, it's stacked with up-and-coming talent like Snoop Strikes, Jay Spade, Amarok, and Johnny Flex. Like what you read? Well, mosey on over to WWN Live to purchase the shows, and remember, a Club WWN subscription gets you 50% off, and be sure to come right back here to Cage Side Seats on Friday and Saturday to hang out in the live thread while you watch the shows.